Why enter the TV? What's going on? Where am I? Is this inside the TV?
I remember being enveloped in a white light, but what came afterwards is unclear. This is the world inside the TV? Oddly enough, the site before me seems to be the main gate of a school. The name engraved on the entrance plate is...
Yasagami High School. I do recall that name from our map of Inaba. An existing high school has been completely recreated inside the TV?
I then came to a realization. I've encountered something much like this before. It doesn't appear to be much different from reality as far as appearances, but it has the same distinctive sticky atmosphere. The Labyrinth Tartarus, our battleground 3 years ago. It bears a lot of similarity to this place.
Wait, where are the others? Akihiko, I guess.
Being separated won't do anything to further our mission. Perhaps I can use my communication power to get in touch with them?
I can't reach them through my persona either. This place is highly unusual.
It's still barely functioning, but the noise here is severe. I'll need to understand this world a little better and find a quiet place to concentrate. As I check my surroundings again for enemies, I hear the sound of footsteps. I tense, getting myself ready. But then I turn around but when I turn around, a uniformed girl stops, looking at me in bewilderment.
Huh?
Oh boy. Isn't Yukiko also the Empress? I didn't expect to meet someone else here, let alone a seemingly ordinary schoolgirl. Could her age and outfit belie a connection to the theft of Labrys? But once the girl's surprise faded, she seemed confused by my appearance. It seems that even here in another dimension, people are startled by my attire. At least her reaction allayed my suspicions. People reveal something of themselves when they're caught off guard. Anyone in an act of committing a crime wouldn't fake being perplexed so naturally.
Did I surprise you? I suppose my outfit is somewhat unusual.
Oh, no.
Why are you here?
Well,
A loud cheer suddenly swells, cutting off our conversation. Judging by the sound, I'd get there's a crowd present here. I look around the area in confusion.
Where is that coming from?
Oh no, wait, I think Yukiko is the priestess. Students appear one after another, clearly intrigued to see us here.
what's going on?
Before I can react, an image appears on the monitor, buried beneath the bizarre decorations.
Hello! Hello! This is General Teddy, your benevolent dictator!
And I, Rosette, am your commentator. It's time for the next round in the P1 Grand Prix.
Here we go.
Are you ready to fight?
P1 Grand Prix. Fight.
Suddenly, on the one in the ridiculous costumes queue, smoke pours out around us. On the one in the ridiculous costumes queue. A spotlight shines somewhere directly upon me. I instinctively raise my arm to shield my eyes from the harsh lights. It feels like I'm being displayed for an audience.
And who do we have for Yuki-chan's opponent this time? Ooh, it's a mysterious, beautiful lady.
Here we go.
How unexpected!
I think we broke him.
Teddy, what's wrong?
Do you know that bear?
The monitor showing the costume General Teddy suddenly fuzzes over with static. The static gets worse and worse, until an eerily expressionless bear costume, one that looks as though we forgot how to make facial expressions, appears on screen. The voice is the same as before, but his tone is harsh and mechanical now.
Case 04, unintended intruder. Entering elimination process.
What is that supposed to mean? Ugh, what's going on?
As soon as the abnormality registers, I feel a bizarre noise, like something scratching against my whole body. That was some kind of an attack? It didn't seem to have any effect on me, but the girl standing beside me underwent quite a change.
Who do you think you are, showing up alone like this? It's no use trying to talk your way out of it. There's nothing to discuss. You don't even try to understand anyone anyway. If you want to wall yourself off from everyone, I'll be happy to end your lonely life here.
Jesus! Why does evil Yukiko always go for the jugular? The girl's face distorts with hatred as she spits her words at me. It's a far cry from her earlier demeanor. It's as if she's a completely different person. And that's not all. Understandably, she seemed not to know me before, but now she speaks as if she does. What is this? Could it be the effect of the noise I sensed?
Don't be so smug for long. Come, Konohana Sakuya.
A persona?
The girl spread the fan in her hand with a flash of light, a persona manifests. How careless of me! I could have accounted for this possibility as soon as I should have accounted for this possibility as soon as I saw her here in this world.
Be settling this peacefully, I see. In which case,
I ready my evoker and concentrate.
Artemisia.
Power rises from within me, and the sensation in my limbs tells me that my persona has emerged. But my hand holding the evoker is still at my side. My persona. Did it appear without the use of my evoker to trigger it? Did I summon it only by thinking? Theoretically, one doesn't need an evoker to summon one's persona. I didn't have one the day my persona first manifested, and I've done without one several times as well. But never before have I summoned it so easily and without any special concentration. It's as if my consciousness has reached far beyond the boundaries of my body. By way of analogy, it seems like being able to control the wind with my fingertips. Could it be because of this world is special? The girl's voice brings me back to the situation at hand. Which reminds me, the girl doesn't seem to use any special implements to summon either.
Persona user. Fine. I still won't lose.
Sorry, but I won't be defeated either.
Here we go. I am not good with Mitsuru. Let's see how this goes.
Finally!
I'm coming for you! No, not at all!
What?
I love that throw.
I'm coming for you. Wanna stay? Overall boost. I'm coming for you. I want to turn the tide. Wanna stay? Next time. No. The opponent is standing.
Ow! Hot! Very hot! But I'm too cool for you!
Better luck next time.
Once the battle ends, the monitor nearby switches on.
An irregularity has occurred. Multiple intruders detected. Emergency. Intruders are persona users. Due to difficulties in elimination, they will be acknowledged as valid targets.
He obviously refers to myself and the others. Does he mean he's going to adjust his tactics for dealing with us, due to how much of a threat we are? The way he said that seems like a bad omen.
Targets.
I understand that we're considered to be intruders, but what did he mean by that? It seems we're a part of the tournament now, but what was the enemy's original plan? The monitor's screen fuzzes again. Once more, it shows the costume person as he originally appeared.
Jeez, you need to let me know if you want to get in on the fun. But this is a unique situation, and you're one hot mama, so I'll make an exception.
God damn it!
Just keep putting on a good show in your next bout, too.
Who are you? Why don't you take off that strange costume and show your face?
Hey now, I don't think a lady walking around in a cat suit like yours can talk to me about my bear suit. Enough with the questions. Move on.
Again, yet another person hung up on my outfit? It's unlike me to let the enemy's words get under my skin. The monitor switches off and with those cheeky words.
Thing the one who stole Labras? If so, then what's the purpose of this bizarre tournament? Fine. I'll get a read on your location.
I quickly link my communicator and persona. Some personas are more suited to operational support than direct combat. In my case, though, that power is secondary. We normally have a persona user who specializes in that role, but with some specialized equipment, I can get by. I focus my consciousness and send it drifting throughout the surrounding area. The enemy must think she's keeping an eye on us. He's keeping an eye on us, but he'll learn soon enough that he's not the only one with a bird's eye view of the situation. Before the layout of this place becomes clear, an unexpected change occurs around me. The moment I use my power, noise runs through the students that have been spectating. In an instant, they turn into something like silhouettes that barely have human shapes. It seems their true colors have been exposed. Are they not human?
What? Were they shadows? If they were, I don't sense any hostility from them. Were they just set dressing that thing in the costume prepared?
The cheering crowd would lead one to believe that there is a large number of people inside the TV, but that doesn't seem to be the case. Which leaves it a mystery. It may be best to consider it a blessing.
In any case, it appears that apart from this girl here, none of those students were real.
The girl who had collapsed on the floor is coming around. I release my persona and rush over to help her. I wasn't fighting to my fullest, so she shouldn't be suffering from any real wounds. There are many mysteries surrounding this girl. She seems to be more than just an associate of the one in the bear costume. The moment the girl sees me, she jumps back like a startled animal. Her speech is flustered. Her face is a bright blushing red. There are tears in her eyes.
How come you knew about that?
About what?
That was private. I never even told anyone at the inn about that. I can't believe someone I've never even met before knew.
The girl covers her reddened face in shame. I try and think back to what I said to her. Did I point out anything that would cause such a reaction? One detail jumps out to me. When the girl's manner of speech shifted before our battle, it wasn't just her personality that abruptly changed. Though we had just met, she talked as if she knew more than she should about my past.
Reminds me, that noise I sensed earlier is gone.
Yet the girl before me now no longer bears any of the senseless animosity from before.
Seems to have been some kind of interference from the enemy. Come to think of it, that bear was egging us on. The interference must have been to ensure two total strangers would fight. General Teddy, was it? He looked comical enough, but he certainly put an elaborate scheme in motion.
No! How could Teddy...
She seems to have finally calmed down and continues muttering with a perplexed expression.
You're not the one in costume, I take it?
Oh, I know him very well. He's usually not like this at all.
I take the girl's hand again and help her to her feet.
Mitsuru Kirijo. I've come here in search of a unique object. Why don't we start over? If you don't mind, I'd like to hear a little about yourself.
Yes. Oh, my name's Yukiko Amagi. I'm sorry for losing my composure just now.
So, Amagi, why did you come to this world?
Where to start? So many strange things happened over the last year.
At first glance, she looks like an ordinary student. So why is she here inside the TV? Amagi briefly summarized her recent past to me, and even tone of voice. In an even tone of voice. According to her, this world was prominent in a serial murder case last year. She and her friend awakened to their personas while investigating the case, and eventually solved it. This world is formed by people's thoughts, and at the case's conclusion, it returned to its original state. None of this contradicts what I learned from Detective Kurosawa.
A realm inside a TV, formed by people's thoughts. It sounds absurd, but that would explain the incongruity I sensed when I used my persona.
We thought the case had been solved, but lately there's been another strange program on the air. My friends and I couldn't ignore that, so we came back here.
Your friends? Are there others here besides yourself?
Yes, I was with 3 other people, but we got separated when we entered. The one in costume and the girl who called herself Rosette are friends of ours too. But they're acting so strangely.
So this is not the way they generally behave, then?
I can tell from Amagi's reaction that normally she trusts those two implicitly. Considering what the enemy did to her earlier, could they be under its control as well? Either way, it sheds no light on the theft of Labras. How are they related? Or is this incident only a coincidence?
There's one more thing I'm curious about. Have you ever heard the name Labras?
Labras? No, I don't think I've ever heard of that before. What is it?
It's the thing I'm searching for. What makes it problematic is that I know nothing of its appearance. Honestly, I'm not sure it has anything to do with this disturbance. Though I can't write it off completely as irrelevant.
Though it appears that there is no connection, and whoever went so far as to hijack a plane to steal Labras brought her all the way here. No matter how I look at it, that means something.
Thank you for your cooperation. I understand the situation better now. We should stay together going forward.
Whoa! Think again, ladies!
General Teddy suddenly appears on the screen to interrupt our conversation.
Winner of each bout can go on. That's rule number 1 in the Grand Prix.
How exactly can that rule be enforced? As if to answer my unspoken question, Amagi makes an odd gesture.
There's nothing here, but I can feel something. A wall, maybe? Wait, but Mitsuru-san could...
Amagi looks at me expectantly. I take a tentative step and walk through the place where she claims there is a wall.
Like I said, you're stuck there until the tournament's over. Only winners get to go. Come on, miss. You won. So it's time to barrel forward to the next stage.
Good God! I must leave the girl alone in the strange world then. Though I'm uneasy about doing so, Amagi seems to read my thoughts and smiles.
But I'll be all right. I fought shadows for an entire year, too. I can protect myself.
I see. In that case, I'll press on and do my best to rescue your friends.
If you see them, please tell them I'm all right and they shouldn't worry about me. You be careful too, Mitsuru-san.
Amagi smiles resolutely. She's a very strong girl.
I'll pass that along.
I nod, acknowledging her wishes, and turn my back to walk away.
Only do they tamper with our minds. They prevent us from leaving until the tournament is settled. It may not necessarily ruin friendships, but there's no way forward than to fight one another. What a loathsome trick. It seems the mastermind is intent on us fighting each other.
I grip my teeth in anger. Amagi's clear eyes remain in my heart. This operation, it's no longer just to retrieve Labras. I make a silent vow as I go. Everyone who has been dragged into this must be rescued.
Another dead end.
As I step into the school, I realize that these invisible walls are everywhere, blocking all routes that seem open to the naked eye. Why is the thief who stole Labras gathering Persona users in this world? Not having a clear idea of their motivation is compounding my anxiety. Ayas and Akihiko may have been dragged into this Grand Prix as well. If so, we need to compare notes. If all goes well, we may figure out the location of the mastermind behind this that I failed to grasp earlier. After quickly confirming that there are no shadows nearby, I link my communicator with my persona. I focus my consciousness and send it drifting throughout the surrounding area.
So lonely.
What was that?
The presence is faint. I can't tell where it is, yet I can definitely hear a voice. It seems I could sense it because of my secondary support capabilities, but when I focus harder, it doesn't seem that they're trying to communicate with me. It's more like the words and the intense emotions behind them are seeping out of the room itself, perhaps even from all around me. Eventually, the voice becomes clearer.
I'm scared. And alone. It hurts. Why? Why won't anyone listen?
I don't recognize the voice. Perhaps one of Amagi's friends.
I didn't ask to be born a machine. How come no one understands? What's the difference between normal people's hearts and mine?
A machine? Is that Labras?
I stand up and try calling to her.
Labras, are you nearby? Answer me.
But there is no answer. It seems that it's not because of the voice's owner or is nearby that I can hear her. It is suddenly different from hearing voices. It is subtly different from hearing voices with one's own ears. It's true. I focus my senses once again, but I still can't tell exactly where it's coming from. Not yet having a thorough command of the layout here makes it harder to pinpoint. Eventually, the voice fades. Only the silence
What
remains.
she said that had to have been Labrys. It sounds as if her heart has developed further than we thought.
Even Igus, the latest model, required a lot of time and experience to develop the heart she has. So then why does Labrys, who has been sealed from her development up to now, have such an advanced
I
heart?
didn't ask to be born a machine. It pains me to hear that.
The anti-shadow suppression weapons. Both Igus and Labrys were created as insurance for dangerous shadow experimentations, in case the subject should go berserk. The only thing that can stand against the shadow is a persona, and being able to control one is an absolute necessity when dealing with shadows. Thus, we are given hearts in order. They were given hearts in order to induce their ability to use personas. But a weapon that has a heart contradicts itself. It was natural for Igus to face that contradiction, and it caused her serious anguish in the
We
past.
can't allow victims like her to be tormented by sins of the past, whether they're human or not.
Newly resolved, I press on. I continue through the school, still unable to contact Igus or Akihiko. The invisible walls seem to be leading me towards the gym. Compared to the one back at Gekkokan High, this one is rather modest, but the chairs stacked to unusual height, to unusual heights, and the monitors everywhere give it an eerie air. Ah, the monitor is switching on again. But this time it's not showing General Teddy. How strange. This appears to be a commercial for a fighting event. Here we go. A succession of young men and women are introduced as participants. One of them I recognize as
They're
Amagi.
wearing the same uniforms as Amagi. I assume these are the friends she spoke of.
All of them are introduced with horrible epithets, but the Amagi I met in person was a completely different, sophisticated girl. I suppose the enemy made up for tagline, so we don't even get to see it? What a crock! Just as Amagi's introduction ends, the video suddenly turns off, and General Teddy his face appears on screen.
I had to completely rejigger the bracket to accommodate 3 new contestants. Sheesh.
3 new contestants. Myself, Akihiko, and Igus?
On the other paw, a tournament's more exciting with more people in it. But getting back on track, allow me to introduce your next opponent.
When I enter, someone who had already been there turns around. His face, it was on the video a moment ago.
There's people besides us here?
You're...
Holy crap, she's smoking hot. The thing she's wearing doesn't hurt either.
Good Lord Yosuke!
You were in that video just now. What was it they called you? Captain Ressentiment?
How come you remember that stupid title and not my real name? Figures I need a knockout like this, and she already knows about that. God, I wish I was dead.
Apparently, the epithet that's from the video hit a sore point with the people featured. The nickname felt more of an impression than his real name, so it just slipped out. At that moment, General Teddy appears again on one of the larger monitors inside the gym.
How do you like your opponent?
Why are you making us fight? What benefit do you derive from this nonsense?
So many questions. I just want you all to suffer. Isn't that exciting? Isn't that fun?
That's what this is about? No. If Labrys is involved, there's more to it, isn't there?
Enough jibba jabba. Hurry and start the fight. Look at your opponent. ready, see?
As the general smirks, a wave of discomfort washes over me. It's the same as that time with Amagi. As I glare at the monitor, thinking that more interference is at work here, I hear unexpectedly bitter words.
Yeah, Shetty's right. I mean, you're the one who barged in here. Man, who'd come to such a dangerous place without hesitating? You really are an ice queen. But you don't have many friends, huh?
It's happening again. The moment that noise kicks in, not only does my opponent's personality change, they begin speaking of things they shouldn't know about. It's exactly like what happened with Amagi.
You talk as if you know me.
Stop acting so calm and changing the subject. You seem like you don't know much about this world, so how do you plan to get out? Don't tell me you rushed in here with no escape plan. Oh man, seriously? You're nuts. People like you who obsess over responsibility and put all the burden on yourselves, you annoy the hell out of me.
It doesn't matter how others perceive me.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Isn't that because you don't trust anyone?
We clearly can't have a normal conversation with the enemy's interference, but even knowing that, I catch myself trying to argue the point. The heavy responsibility I suffer is mine alone. If I share it with someone, that means that suffering will also be shared. That is why I try to be self-sufficient. The more I care about someone, the less I'm willing to rely on them. But isn't that no better than not believing in them? I've been caught in that trap before. Maybe I still haven't truly escaped it. But how could he guess at my private distress, one that I barely confided to others before?
Supposedly an unexpected intruder. What's going on?
What are you mumbling about? Well, let me ease your mind. I'll end everything for you. Let's do this, Jiraiya!
Go, Yosuke-senpai! Beat up that shady lady! Let the fight begin!
I can see there'll be no talking sense with him like this. There's nothing for it then. Artemisia!
I love that where she's more exasperated than Naoto was. Okay, I'm going to quickly go for another bio break. Give me a sec. I'm back.
Finally. Fight!
What a fierce attack! Maybe stand
Still up!
on guard. One side is becoming
Whoa!
dominant.
And stay down! Go, Jiraiya!
Ooh, the body joins now. Go! One mistake. Next time.
Still up! Submit to me, my beautiful queen.
In the end, the victor was no surprise. Aw, you're so useless, Yosuke-senpai. Unfortunately, the party crasher wins.
Ouch. The girl on the PA system is rather casual with her insult. Soon after, General Teddy appears on the monitor.
You're so strong, miss. I can barely believe how gorgeous and powerful you are.
Moving on.
Seems they're not provoking us only to have us fight one another. And their method, is it more like an illusion they're casting over us, rather than some sort of mind control?
Still trying to figure everything out? Switch your brain off and enjoy the Grand Prix already!
Sorry, but I'm not some savage who enjoys the suffering of others. And don't call me Miss. My name is Mitsuru Kirijo.
Kirijo?
You've toyed with us, and I don't take that lightly. I'll make you pay for what you've done. You better be prepared for that.
Kirijo!
The moment he hears my voice, the face on the bear costume distorts into a mask of hate. I think that should be name.
You're the one who should be prepared! I'll never let you stop me!
The broadcast ends after he flings those words at me.
My name on purpose. He reacted as strongly to the name Kirijo as I thought he would.
I still don't know anything for certain, but I'm increasingly sure that General Teddy is related to the circumstances surrounding Labras.
First, I thought I'd stumbled into an irrelevant side incident, but evidently not. We were meant to come here.
Just then, the young man behind me slowly gets on his feet.
Ow!
Ah, you're awake.
It seems now that the battle is settled, the interference causing us both to seem odd vanished. Hanamura cringes away, frightened. I can't help but shrug.
My. Amagi reacted the same way. Were the things that the illusory me said that harsh?
Oh, you bet. Wait, what? Illusory? And did you just say Amagi? You meant Yukiko?
Yes, before I came here. I was forced to fight her, quite against my will.
I explained the situation to him. I also add that we shared information. That she shared information with me on last year's case. That should help prove that I did encounter Amagi. Just on the off chance, I asked Hanamura about Labras, but he seems not to even know the name. Once we finish speaking, he stands up and places his hand in the air, as if touching something.
Only the winner can move on, huh? I'm the only one who can feel this invisible wall thing, so I guess it's true.
I'm glad you understand. I was worried you'd doubt me, since I'm a complete stranger.
Well, you didn't seem like someone who'd try and trick me. I mean, what's the point? I've lost now, so I can't go anywhere.
Indeed. You're very pragmatic.
The young man waves away my compliment.
After what I went through last year, I just got used to coming smack up against insane stuff in this world.
This doesn't even register 0.5 on my weird shit-o-meter.
And Yukiko, my friend you met, she believed in you. So I don't mind trusting you too.
I see.
I can't help myself from smiling. Came on, I do somewhat envy, their bond seems to be real. I do somewhat envy the way they trust each other without a doubt. That could never have happened unless they had overcome the same trials together.
Your opinion on something. What do you think is the objective of this tournament? That General Teddy said it was all in fun, but I doubt it's anything so simple.
I've been wondering the same thing, but I don't know. But you know, it might not just be Teddy behind it. I met this weird girl earlier.
A weird girl?
She was about my age, and she said she was the student council president. It was like she had no idea that she was inside the TV world. That doesn't seem very likely, does it?
No, I doubt one could be unaware of such things. It's possible that she didn't come here of her own will.
This may be a school now, but it doesn't always look like this. When normal people who don't have personas come in here, the world changes to reflect what they're thinking of. It happened every time a victim was dumped into a TV last year. Maybe this time she's the victim. Even if she means well, she still could have a lot to do with the tournament.
Girl, huh?
Judging from the state of affairs, I'm beginning to think that the girl in question is Labris. Since Hanamura doesn't know the details of my mission, it wouldn't occur to him that what I'm searching for is a humanoid weapon with a
What
heart.
did this girl look like? Did anything about her stand out?
Hey, B-Side, welcome to the stream. How was your day?
Huh? No, not really. She wore the same uniform as the rest of us.
A uniform?
Considering how Agus looks, it's possible that Labris's appearance is quite close to human. But what it does mean is that she's completely able to pass. But what does it mean that she's easily able to pass as a human? That she's completely able to pass as a human? Got my butt whooped by a master gamer. Ouch. Did anything about her stand out? Well, she's got gray hair, so that's a thing. Even Agus has to wear clothes that cover her entire body in order for her to walk around town. Yeah, Labris even wears the same uniform as them. Chalk it up to another unsolved mystery, I suppose. But after talking with Hanamura, it does feel like I'm starting to understand the bigger picture here.
See. Thank you. I'm getting a clearer picture of what's going on. I'm sorry, but I can't stay and chat. I should be leaving now.
Oh, wait a sec. Can I ask you a favor? Can you look after my other friends too? It sucks, but I can't get to them from here. That Teddy's really not a bad guy either. Sure, he eats my ice cream without asking and stuff, but...
That is the most evil thing, though! Off with its head!
He's not the type of guy who'd get off on watching people hurt each other. There's gotta be some other explanation.
Don't worry. I was already thinking along similar lines. What we saw was an illusion. It may be that they're faced with the same situation. I'll save everyone who's been dragged into this, including your friends, and this student council president.
Thanks. Just hurry before someone else dies in here.
Hanamura's expression, which had previously been bright, albeit desperate, darkens noticeably. From all I've heard, last year's Shadow incident revolved around serial murders. And maybe that he lost someone as well. To fight so desperately, but lack the power to make a difference, being forcibly parted from loved ones. I understand that pain all too well.
That must sound pretty lame, losing the fight and then making a lot of demands.
Not so. Your concern for your friends in a situation like this. C'est magnifique.
What?
I sensed it when speaking to Amagi too, but you all seem to have very strong wills. I promise to do what I can to help.
The emotions he seems to view as a weakness are actually a strength. I'm sure that with a little more experience, he'll come to realize that too. He'll see how difficult it is to hold on to that will and how valuable it is to have friends he can share it with. Since I am the one who will be moving on, I'm responsible for the duties he entrusted to me. As if sensing my determination, Hanamura's expression turns serious, and he nods. After parting with Hanamura, I once again proceed through the school. The invisible walls continue to bar my path. Undoubtedly, the enemy is leading me exactly where he wants me.
Is there no end to this?
The rules of the P1 Grand Prix are powerfully enforced. I tried to see if I could destroy one of these walls, but it doesn't seem as though I can. Maybe if I used all my strength, but even if I do, I'll be locked into a fight if I happen to run into anyone. Either way, it didn't seem worth the trouble. I strayed from the suggested route on purpose and opened one of the classroom doors. I sense no enemies, and it doesn't look like that I'll run into my next opponent here either. It should be safe. Once again, I like my communicator with my persona. This time, unlike before, my senses cleanly and smoothly spread outward. I sense one, no, two familiar signals.
Nico and Igus. They both seem to be okay.
First, I focus my senses to contact Igus, who's closer by.
Hear me, Igus.
Mitsuru-san, I am relieved to finally hear from you. Is Akihiko-san with you?
No, we were separated, but I've confirmed his safety. I'm sure he won't be defeated that easily.
Igus laughs upon hearing my
Let's
words.
exchange information while we can.
I give her a simple outline of the current situation. I mentioned the students that were drawn here. My suspicion is that this Grand Prix mastermind is almost certainly related to Labris. And what I've heard from of a girl who I'm assuming to be
I
Labris.
saw that girl a moment ago. Though I lost sight of her when the invisible walls blocked my path.
Darn you game developers! That's the umpteenth joke I've made!
I've been told she looks more human than you. Is that possible?
Not only that, she was almost indistinguishable from a normal person. I couldn't believe it either. Yet I definitely sensed a personality module. I don't believe there's any mistake that she is Labris.
Damn you, plot convenience!
See.
There's no doubt that General Teddy has strong ties to Labris and the Kirijo group. But this girl whom we believe to be Labris is apparently walking around unconstrained. If he can set up as many walls, it should be easy for him to capture her
Not
too.
about meeting up for now. Under the present conditions, we'd only end up fighting amongst ourselves.
Understood.
I don't know how Labris ties into this situation yet, but be careful. Hello? I lost her.
Igus's voice trails off as my connection to her dies out again. I wonder if the enemy noticed our conversation and took preventative measures. Though the voice I'm hearing now definitely isn't General Teddy's.
Some other way. If there was, then...
That's the same voice from before. Labris, is that you?
It's happening again. The voice reaches me through my persona ability, and I have the strangest sensation about it. I get the impression that the voice is seeping out of the place itself.
Why are you laughing? What about this is funny?
Oh yeah, this was a thing. Starting with P4, I believe. I think P5 also kind of did it.
Who is she addressing?
I don't want to fight him anymore.
That reminds me. Hanamura said that the environments here are formed by the thoughts of those who enter this world. Could these be Labris's innermost thoughts? Is that why everything about this place radiates her feelings?
What do you think we are?
For a moment, I experienced not just the voice, but the powerful wave of emotions. They bombard me through my persona's senses. A strong sadness, confusion, despair. I can't help but fall to my knees, though nothing is assaulting me directly. How can I describe this weight? One possible explanation crosses my mind.
She's not addressing anyone. These are her memories. I see. So that's what's going on.
I think back to what General Teddy said. That making people suffer is fun. Excuse me. I dismissed it as a barbaric desire not worth thinking about too deeply. But in truth, what kind of horrors would someone have to go through to emerge with such a stunted perspective?
Finally beginning to see the relationship between this tournament and Labris.
In any case, I must proceed to learn. I must proceed on to learn anything. I redouble my resolve and begin walking again. The monitor suddenly turns on, showing a smirking General Teddy.
You getting
Then you intend to continue this meaningless farce.
I'll decide what's meaningless or not! Bring out the next challenger!
As soon as the general shouts, smoke gushes out, obstructing my view. It seems he isn't willing to learn to listen to reason at all. Not that I expected otherwise. Who will I be forced to fight this time? I strain my eyes to see through the smoke. It looks like it's... I remember that face. Naoto Shirogane. He was present as a police observer when Labrys was being transported to Yakushima. It was thanks to his quick thinking that we discovered Labrys had been taken to Inaba. If our trip hadn't been disrupted by the hijacking, he probably would have been with us in Yakushima. But why is he here?
Problem. I didn't think we'd run into each other so soon. Is this another illusion? No. I can see that it isn't. Why are you here? I'll answer that question later. It would be best to say as little as possible for now.
With that, the young man lifts his finger to his lips in a gesture to remain silent. Directly afterwards, that staticky sensation runs through my body. It's then that I understand what he meant. Once again, this noise will prevent us from understanding each other properly. He's probably also noticed the effect at work. Nothing we say right now could be called conversing. If we both understand that, neither of us need to take what the other says personally. That's why he called for a temporary silence. It's an amazing assessment, given the brief time in which he had to make it. Before long, as expected, the young man before me undergoes a complete attitude reversal.
Such impatience handling the grunt work yourself like this. Isn't micromanaging like this the style of an incompetent leader? One who can't see the bigger picture?
This isn't how he truly feels. I say nothing.
Silent treatment, huh? That's fine. I understand perfectly. You don't believe in people. Not a single one. You have friends and allies, but believing in them is a different thing. I suspect you'll never break down that wall. Shall I say it for you? You're actually scared to. The notion of growing attached to something and losing it scares you so much that you'll share nothing truly important to you. Even if you want to believe in your friends, you can't. That's not true.
After the words slipped from my mouth, I realized that the argument is futile.
Why not simply admit it? In truth, you have your hands full just expiating your family's sins. You don't need the added burden of others placing their lives in your hands. Isn't that how you really feel? No.
The young man smirks, as if ridiculing my inability to stop myself from responding to his allegations despite knowing the futility of doing so. But the smirk only helps me to regain my composure. The real Shirogane would never make that face. This is only an illusion.
There's no use continuing this. Not until I eliminate this irritating mirage.
I really need to figure out if I can decrease my my CPU usage during streams, because goddamn.
Finally. Fight!
Ow.
Too bad.
Much hurt, much hurt.
I'm sorry.
Bullets are painful.
In the end, the victor was no surprise.
I turn towards the monitor on the assumption that General Teddy will appear to mock us. But for some reason, this time he doesn't. I'm not sure why, but it at least allows us time to calmly talk things over. I look towards the young man once again.
Getting through to you now?
Yes. The same goes for me, I presume. It seems we were spellbound until the fight began, as we both suspected. They disrupted our communications to drive a wedge between us and make us fight, though it's a mystery to me as to where it draws such personal slights for the illusions before us.
I agree.
He seems to bear no animosity and is willing to discuss things, but to be honest, I'm not sure where we stand. Why is he here? I can think of several possible explanations, but if he secretly followed us in, his candiness may prove dangerous. He gives a sudden wry smile, as if sensing my reluctance and trying to assuage it.
You need to be cagey. I don't intend to dodge whatever questions you have. You were probably wondering 3 things when you saw me here. First, how did I enter this world? Second, what am I doing in Inaba? And third, if I came here looking for you, what are my true intentions?
No wonder you've made a name for yourself as a detective. You're correct on all counts.
The first answer is easy. You know now that I can use a persona, allowing me access to the TV world. As for the second, there's no great mystery why I would come to Inaba.
You wouldn't happen to be acquainted with Amagi and Hanamura?
Sorry, I accidentally skipped that. I live here.
You've met my senpai?
Your friends. I gather that you're comrades who fought alongside each other during the serial murder case last year. I assume you entered the TV together for the same reason they did, and found yourself dragged into this mess as well.
Whatever doubts I may have about them, it seems they're here because we dragged them into this. I'm not very comfortable with that.
So, I must apologize to you. No doubt you already know, but the object we seek has been brought to this world. It's most likely the cause of this disturbance. Whoever learned of this world's existence must have thought it would be useful in whatever they're scheming.
You apologizing to me?
Shirogane shrugged with a wry smile.
So sure you can trust me. You have no guarantee that I'm telling the truth. And there's still the answer to your third question to consider. I haven't yet told you my true motives.
Fair enough. But if you're friends with Amagi and Hanamura, I feel I can trust you. Their bonds with their friends are real.
Perhaps I lied about that too.
But then why would you bring it up? No, you're no villain. That's what my intuition tells me.
You aren't at all the person I thought you'd be.
I'll take that as a compliment.
He smiled. His smile suggests that it was meant as one. It makes him look like his age, or even younger. I can't help but smile as well. He's not exactly the hardened detective that I imagined him to be either.
Teddy, who appeared on that monitor, is not our friend. He's an imposter.
You have proof of this?
I found the real Teddy. Our enemy can fog both our eyes and ears. It's possible they can make themselves look like someone else.
I see.
But I still don't know why they chose to take on Teddy's appearance.
Upon hearing this, I sigh and close my eyes.
Make you all suffer. If they led you to believe your friend betrayed you, it would make this all the more painful.
There's some truth to that, but it seems too simple a motive to warrant this elaborate of a disturbance.
He's wrong. If the motive is somehow connected to Labrys's memories, is what had been incomprehensible. What had been incomprehensible becomes completely understandable. My conclusion must have shown through my face, since Shirogane trails off in understanding. At that moment came something like a touch. It's a sensation I haven't felt since entering this world, but I know this feeling. It's the effect of It's the effect of being brushed by a persona's informational support powers.
Feeling. Rise-san! Rise-san, can you hear me?
So you ended up here too!
The voice that echoed is as much like the voice I heard over the PA system, but it seems quite different. The announcements must have been part of the culprit's tricks. This Rise's voice immediately turns quavery.
I'm so glad. Ever since this weird fake Teddy kidnapped me, I've been all alone. The others are fighting each other too.
It's all right. Just calm down and tell me where you are.
I think it's the announcement room. It's kind of off, though. There are these invisible walls around, and I can't get out. The fake Teddy was watching me until a moment ago, so I couldn't use my persona.
She seems to have been under the General's close watch, limiting her chances to use her persona until now. As soon as the General stepped out for a moment, she seized the opportunity to contact Shirogane.
We're in the announcement room now, yes? I'm headed straight there, so stay put.
Huh? Who's that? Why can I hear your voice but not sense you?
She sounds extremely confused. I had temporarily forgotten that my equipment prevents me from being detected by persona abilities to an extent. I prepared it after facing a new enemy with similar powers once before. It works by making my presence difficult to detect unless they know me well and recognize my signature. Shirogane senses her confusion as well and introduces me to her. His introduction is accurate, yet concise. I can see he is a first-rate detective.
Mitsuru. Wait, Kirijo? Are you that Kirijo?
Yes, that's correct.
The CEO?
Not quite. I am the founding family's...
You hired me for a commercial before. Oh, crud. Thank you very much for your patronage.
That's kind of crazy to me that Mitsuru or someone in Mitsuru's family just hired Rise for a commercial.
Commercial?
Oh, yes. I'm Rise Kuchikawa. I'm a classmate of the others you met, but I'm also kind of a starlet, and it's hard to explain.
Rise-san, that can wait. There's no knowing when our adversary will return.
Oh, all right.
She sounds kind of disappointed there.
Kujikawa said that she was captured, but why would they treat her differently?
I suspect it was to block communication. If we could speak freely as we just did, their whole scheme would collapse. Ah, so that's why Teddy and Rise-san were the hosts.
What do you mean?
The real Teddy has a similar power. That's why those two were taken separately.
Not exactly. Teddy's persona is still heavily focused on battle. What the difference is his smell. I believe I mentioned this before. He has a keen nose.
Not only that, but by acting as the two who had disappeared, the enemy thought it could portray them as traitors. Though it appears that Teddy managed to escape on his own somehow.
How come I'm the only one fake Teddy is watching over personally? Sheesh.
You have the most powerful investigative persona. They must have had to take greater pains with you.
We should have more plot. Yeah, that's kind of the thing with fighting game plots. We are on the first, we are still on the first game story, so so we are still like treading through we are still treading through the same plot point as we've been going through a lot. It'll be more diverse once we get to P4A's story, though P4AU's story, I mean, but the reason they did it like this is they basically gave everyone in the roster their own story, and unfortunately, it has to be more concise and hit the same plot points.
I think we're keeping this going too long. We've exchanged what we know already, so I'm gonna shut down the comms link. Be careful, you guys.
I face Shirogane once
You're
again.
responsible for this case. Rescuing the ones who've been dragged into it is part of our mission. Besides, she's another of your friends, isn't she? All the more reason for me to go save her.
He makes a small gesture as if searching for the right words. After taking some time to make up his mind, he looks me in the eye once more.
Quite prepared for this. it would be unfair of me not to tell you everything. Please hear me out. The reason I came here was to...
You're a real straight arrow.
I cut him off intentionally.
Very proud to be a detective, no? I can see it in your eyes. You would never sell out your beloved justice. If you've done nothing to be ashamed of, that makes us even. I haven't been entirely forthright with you either.
Kirijo-san. It seems I still have much to learn.
Despite what I said, I can make an educated guess as to his motives. He's a persona user. That means the police selected their observer as someone with the potential. If his only task was to watch over the transfer, there'd be no need to send a persona user. Leading me to believe that he's been asked to secretly spy on me or my organization. But we have nothing to hide anymore. There are many things that shouldn't be made public, but I'm sure his judgment is sound.
Then, I will once again entrust my friend's safety and the resolution of this case to you, in honor of the bond we are forming, Mitsuru Kirijo.
I promise that I will not let you down.
I smile back at him and move on without looking back. I know that there is someone up ahead to whom I owe recompense. There is no hesitation in my steps. I reach the 3rd floor. After turning a corner and going on for a while, it finally comes into view. The announcement room. This is where Kujikawa is supposed to be.
Are you Kirijo-san? Kirijo?
Oh boy. As I open the door, 2 students greet me. One of them is the voice I heard through my persona. Kujikawa, I presume. The other is a girl I didn't see on the video.
Right, Miss President. We'll be okay now that help's arrived. Kirijo-san, this girl got dragged into this mess too. We have to help her before that general comes back.
So you're Kujikawa. Sorry, but I'll need you to step back.
Huh?
I turn to face Miss President.
Made it last. Astounding. You really do look human. But you're not, are you, Labrys?
The girl jumps at hearing this. Kujikawa still looks unsure, but I can't drag her into this. I place myself between her and Labrys.
Huh? What do you mean she's not human? Isn't she a victim who got dropped inside the TV?
Labrys being a victim is one way to see it. But if what I learned thus far is accurate, then the one who set up this Grand Prix is most likely...
Labrys, our records show that you were loaded with special equipment. Undoubtedly a function that affects thoughts and scrambles recognition. That's why we saw and heard illusions whenever we fought. It would also explain General Teddy's appearance, and those who met you believing you to be human.
Special equipment? Labrys? What are you talking about?
Labrys' protests of ignorance sounds as if she's in denial about something she already knows. It's tragic hearing the desperation in her voice.
I'm sure the reason why you captured 2 people with analytical personas wasn't just to keep them from interfering with your designs. I came to a realization when I noticed I was the only one who sensed that noise. An analytical persona's searches clash with your ability. They dispel illusions, so you needed to confine them. You feared that if they caught you off guard and used their persona's ability, this would happen.
With that, I summon my persona, Artemisia. Just as expected, noise immediately runs across Labrys' body. It's exactly the sensation I felt before each round of the tournament. Artemisia cancels out the forces scrambling our senses, and the illusions begin to wear off. Little by little, the facade fades away, and her true appearance emerges.
No! What's going on? This can't be.
What was your motive, Labrys? Was it revenge in the end? I can understand why you'd hold a grudge. I caught glimpses of it on my way here. But your hatred should be centered on the Kirijo group. Why drag innocent students into your vendetta?
Kirijo group? No. I don't want to remember. Never again.
Miss President, Kirijo-san, she seems to be in a lot of pain. I don't know exactly what's going on here, but you can't push her any further.
At the moment, Labras grabs the equipment on her back that I had mistaken for wings. It suddenly separates and transforms into a giant battle axe that's larger than she is.
Miss President?
Get back! Hurry!
Labras approaches one step at a time, her axe at the ready. Her steps seem uncertain, but she's moving with battle clearly in mind.
Against harming humans has been removed? I see. No wonder she was sealed away.
Behind me, I hear Kuchikawa pleading.
Is there no other choice but to fight?
I won't let you do any more damage, Labras. It's me you want.
Shut up! Shut up! I didn't like that!
We should end stream soon. I'm getting close to time.
Finally.
I'm very bad at that. Ow! That hurt a lot! Okay, so at the next save point, I'll end stream. Labras remains still. I can hear her muttering denials. She didn't use a persona, but it's possible that her mental stability prevented her from doing so. It might be a blessing in
I
disguise.
don't intend to turn a blind eye to the sins committed against you. That is why I must bring you back.
Labras is the mastermind. Not only of this tournament, but maybe the entire incident. What if Labras wasn't stolen, but instead escaped? Considering her powers, it is possible that she deluded the ordinary human... is it possible that she deluded the ordinary human hijackers? There's no knowing when Labras regained her consciousness inside her cage. What if she hadn't awakened and on opening it? What if she was already conscious inside there? She had been sealed for roughly 13 years. More than enough time to formulate a plan.
If that's indeed the case, it'd make more sense for this to be a plan devised by Labras, rather than an unknown party suddenly stealing her away. I can't imagine how much resentment such a small, artificial body could hold. A tragic mastermind, huh?
Huh? Mastermind? You got it wrong, Kirijo-san. That girl's not...
Kuchikawa calls out from behind me. But just as she does, I feel an imminent threat rushing towards my back. I turn around in surprise. It can't be.
Looks like you've saved me some time while I was out running errands.
You're...
General Teddy gives an evil smirk. An extremely powerful version of the noise, far worse than before, is everywhere around us. Fujikawa squats down while covering both her ears. It's all I can do to keep from falling on my own knees.
What's going on? This is Labrys's interference pattern.
Mm-hmm. That's right. As thanks for cornering the real one, I'll show you something.
The noise lifts once the mimicry is dispelled. But what it reveals is something I hadn't expected.
Another Labrys? Why are there two of her?
I am a shadow. The true self.
It's Miss President's shadow.
I'm taking the real one with me. I'll never let you catch me.
Labrys's double gives me a glare of pure malice before carrying off the original and fleeing the scene. I almost chase after her without thinking, but I stop myself and reconsider. That second Labrys, who was that? This completely unexpected situation has me off guard. I can't decide how to proceed.
You seem to know.
First, tell me something. Why was she in so much pain? What's all this about Labrys and weapons?
I'm sorry, but that's classified. It's not for civilian ears.
Then I won't tell you anything about her. If you want to know what I know, you have to tell me what you know first.
That may have sounded too much like I don't care if she's in pain. It would be unreasonable to demand that she tells me everything she knows without offering something in return. And she's already seen Labrys's true form, so I give a small sigh.
I suppose you're involved now. All right, her official name is 5th Generation Anti-Shadow Suppression Weapon, codenamed Labrys. She is an android weapon created by the Kirijo group years ago. In order to use persona abilities, she was given a heart.
She's a machine? Fujikawa's shocked expression conveys her thoughts as perfectly as if she'd spoken out loud.
Let her run free. Just look at the trouble she's caused. We came to retrieve her and minimize any damages.
I hold back no details in telling her of the cruel experiments she must have underwent during her development. Fujikawa takes it all in and quietly sighs.
When she said she didn't want to remember, that's what that was about. Hey, why didn't you listen to what she was trying to say?
I don't know if I'll be doing any online battles. I'm more focused on single player stuff, but I'll probably do fights with friends and followers or something occasionally. Or rather, once I'm done with story modes, with the story modes of the fighting games I have. This is pretty much a series. I just started the story. I thought it was going to be short. Surprise! Several months later, I'm still not done. I'm cycling through two fighting games just to give some variety.
She said that she didn't want to remember, but you kept pushing your demands on her and making her feel bad.
That's...
I paused, considering her accusation. She may be right. Indeed, I was so desperate to put an end to this case that I didn't listen to what Labras had to
You
say.
gave her a heart because you needed her to have one, and then kept treating her like that. No wonder she's in pain.
Tears streamed from the girl's eyes. As angry as she is, she's crying for Labras. Even after seeing her true mechanical form and learning that she's a weapon, Fujikawa has nothing but compassion for
Why are you
Labras.
siding with Labras so much?
I heard her voice a few times. It sounded like it was from her past. She said she was forced to fight when she didn't want to, that she was hurt and afraid.
I see. Fujikawa had also heard the voice, just as I did, when she used her persona. Fujikawa slowly tells me about what happened last year, the reasons why she came to Inaba. Due to her careers as an idol, she was cut off. Due to her career as an idol, she was cut off from those who knew her for who she was, leaving her isolated. But just when she had lost faith in everything, she met people who believed in her. Belied her, what? Saving her life.
To believe in, huh?
Hearing that brought up again, and is a sore point for me.
Miss President's shadow.
Fujikawa tells me the details that she previously said she wouldn't reveal.
Kawa.
The repressed desires you don't want to admit? Here, they take on a life of their own.
So that's why. Then what's her ultimate goal? Why did she take Labras?
Shadows. They try to become real. It confronts the original with weaknesses to make them deny that the shadow's part of them. Also, it can take their place.
I see. Then there's no time to lose.
Do you think you can save her? A shadow doesn't disappear until the original person accepts it.
That's why I must believe in her and support her. Even if it's left unsaid, I still understand Fujikawa's desire. I share it.
Let me amend my earlier statement. I didn't come here just to minimize the damage. I came to save everyone. Will you trust me on that?
She looks into my eyes, and after wiping her face with a handkerchief, she nods slightly.
Make sure you listen to what Labras wants to say this time, okay?
I fully intend to.
Fujikawa smiles in embarrassment. She apologizes to me for taking such a spiteful tone. I can tell she's being honest and sincere. Fujikawa promises to cooperate as much as possible for Labras' sake. I decide to have her contact her friends and pass on a simple explanation of the situation. She agrees and adds that she'll try to contact Akihiko and Igus as well. She seems to have already grasped how our safeguards against detection by personas work.
Speaking with you made me understand something important. Thank you for that. It must be that smile of yours that catches your audience's heartstrings.
Promise me then. Make sure you come back with her.
Spurred on by her words, I begin running to where I detect Labras ought to be, though I don't yet have a plan to save her. If I find her again and listen this time, will that truly be enough to save Labras? The invisible walls are still here, leading me to the music room. According to the guide map, it should have been further away, but just as with the announcement room, the layout of this version of the school is off.
Who are you?
Someone else is already inside. He frowns upon seeing me. I recognize his face from the video. If the walls are still here, does that mean the Grand Prix rules are still being enforced? As a test, I hold my hand to the space where I just entered the room.
It seems we're locked in. The rule against proceeding without fighting is still in effect.
Are you Kirijo-san by any chance? Rise got in touch with me.
I am indeed Mitsuru Kirijo. As I recall, you were the sister No, your name was... Now, there doesn't seem to be anything scrambling our senses. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I accidentally cut that off way too early. I don't sense any noise, but it can't hurt to ask. He nods, showing that he understands the
You
question.
told me you were out to save Miss President. Labris, her name was?
That's right. But I must act swiftly. There's no noise here because our enemy thinks we'll be hesitant to fight in our right minds. Would you mind conceding? I don't want to drag you into this any further.
I understand, but I can't do it like that.
Narukami gives a wry smile before his expression flattens again.
The rules are still in effect. My friends are still trapped. They still need someone to rescue them. I fought battles I didn't want and taken on a lot of responsibilities, which includes saving Labris, of course. It's not that I don't believe you, but I don't think it's right to simply hand the burden over to someone I just met.
I see.
Sorry, this must be frustrating to you.
No, don't misunderstand me. I have no objections. I admire your willingness. With the final battle awaiting ahead, perhaps it's best that the stronger of us two should be the one to proceed.
The atmosphere in the area changes. Narukami senses it as well and readies his weapon. It's strange, but he reminds me of someone. Although his fighting stance, physique, and features are completely different, he still reminds me of the one who saved us and the entire world.
Look in your eyes. I will test your resolve with my sword.
I have to like stop this as the fight begins because there's no reason, there's no way to go to the screen from the to the selection screen from the save.
Persona 4.
Okay then. Thank you all so much for watching. It was good to make some progress in this game again, and we shouldn't be too far off from finishing the first series of stories. But it's after I finish the P4A stories, I'm going to take a bit of a break from this game, and then we'll move to another fighting game, or maybe even a horror game afterward. I haven't touched a horror game since Halloween. And anyway, if you enjoyed the stream, please leave a follow if you haven't already. It helps me as a small streamer. You can also check my socials over there. My Twitter and Facebook and Discord are especially the most reliable ways to know when I'll be streaming next, because I'm at the mercy of SCOM. But now let's get ready for a raid, shall we? Hold on a sec. Gotta open another window for that. Okay, so let's see. We got Mayu's playing Don't Starve Together. We got Kuro, who is playing Minecraft. We got Hishino, who is playing Strive. I haven't rated Hishino in a long time, and every time I get the chance, she's always playing Strive, and I want to avoid the story. I can't take chances. I don't want to be spoiled, so we'll raid Mai. Oh, she's doing a collab. I mean, that makes sense. Don't starve together. Okay, so thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see. And next week we will resume with Final Fantasy VI. We don't have too much left to do with that, and I'll try to get grinding done during the week. So thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you all in the next one. This is Metis Balaska signing out.